Hi, it's Andy and John from Car Repairs Made Easy, and today we are working on a 2003 Toyota Matrix. We are going to replace the radiator because it is leaking. What we're going to do is, since I'm working by myself today, we're going to do our best to make the best kind of video we can. What we've done is already removed the radiator cap. And if you could see down here, it may be hard to see. Right here's the petcock. Right here that I've already turned to start draining the radiator. We have a drain pan. We're using that to catch all our coolant, as always. This one looks pretty simple. We have the cooling fans here with the coolant reservoir. Looks like what we're going to need to do is we have to unplug the cooling fan here. We have a 10mm bolt on this side, which may be hard to see there, and another one right here. Once we get that loose, the radiator or the cooling fan should slide right off the top of the radiator because they're just in slots. You can see right down, maybe down there at the bottom. Once we do that, then we'll have to take the oil cooler or transmission cooler lines off here and one farther down there. We'll just take the clamps off, these clamps, squeeze them, pull the lines off, and then it looks like we will just have these brackets here. Looks like a 12 or 13 and a bracket here. Hose clamp here for this upper radiator hose, and the lower radiator hose is way down there at the bottom. You can see it right there. You can see the clamp. So while we're letting the coolant drain, I'm going to grab some tools and we will be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay, the first thing we're going to do to remove the coolant fans, we need to take the cooling fan connector off here. There's a small tab in the center you have to push. It's pretty firm. May take two hands to get it off, but I can get this one off with one. You just push down on it real hard and gently pull the connector loose. There we go. As you can see, there's the connector, the tab right in the center. That's your connector. You just push down on it. See how it flexes? And that will release it, and you can get that off of the cooling fans. Next, we're going to remove the wire harness from the cooling fans right here. Pop that loose. I'll get this up out of the way here. Now what we have to do is we have a 10mm here. Oops. A 10mm over here. We'll take those loose. And this thing should be ready to come out. Oh, one thing I forgot. This overflow hose here needs to come off from the radiator because the coolant jar is going to come out with the fans. I apologize for the shaky camera motions. I'm doing this one myself. John took the night off, which is not a problem. Just it may not be our best quality video, but we still want to show you, because this job has to be done. So I'll do the best I can to give you the best view and a stable view. Okay, there's one. And then we'll come over here and we'll take this one off. Have that one out. Now, as you can see, the fans move, the fan assembly. So if I was right, this should just pull straight up and out, and it does. So we're just going to pull this up, get this out of the way. You have to get the tab here, this part here around this coolant hose. I'm going to leave that on for now. So we're ready to pull the radiator so everything looks like it's in some sort of order. But I'm going to get these coolant fans out of the way, and once I get those out of the way, we'll be ready to start taking the hoses and stuff off, and we'll get ready to yank the radiator. Okay, we're back. What we're going to do now is we're going to remove the radiator. We just have a few hoses and a couple bolts. As you can see, nice and open space with the fans out of there. This one should come out nice and easy. Should be a nice easy job to do at home. No real special tools required. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this hose clamp off. Spring tension. Just grab yourself a pair of pliers or channel locks. Squeeze it, wiggle it, and just slide it off. Slide it down the hose a little ways. Let's see, there we go. We'll get that thing out of the way there. Now, if the hose is tight, just twist it to try to pull it off. If it won't twist, that means it just may be stuck a little bit. That's normal just from the heat because it's rubber. Get yourself something like this, which is a hose clamp removal tool, or a hose removal tool, I'm sorry, or even a small flat-bladed screwdriver to get between the pipe and the hose itself. Be real careful not to poke a hole in the hose when you do it. Oops, just get it in there, work your way around like that to free it up, and just wiggle it, twist it, slide it off, and we'll just push it up out of the way. And what we have on this side is we have the lower radiator hose, which is down here. You can see it right there. Same thing. This one's just positioned, the clamp's positioned a little weird. We're just going to try to squeeze it, swing it up around so we can get a hold of it. And then we have the two oil cooler lines here that we need to take off. Same thing. Get your pliers or channel locks. Try to get a good squeeze on them. See if we can get a good shot here. Squeeze it, wiggle it, slide it down. You can see it's starting to move. This is a little tough to do one-handed while I'm trying to hold the camera, so they come off the same way the upper radiator hose did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to get these off, and once I get them loose, we'll come back, we'll take the two bolts off and pull the radiator out, and then we will be ready to install the new one. Alright, now we have the two oil cooler hoses lines off here, and a little farther down here we have that one off, and the lower radiator hose, as you can see here, is off. Make sure you move your drain bucket over because we have more coolant coming out of the engine, so you want to try to catch that. Now you can see that it looks like everything except for our two brackets here. And here, they're actually 12 millimeter, not 13s. A lot of foreign cars seem to use 12s. So we're going to pull these two bolts off here. And we have one over here. That up out of the way. These will just pull off the radiator. They just go right onto this little nipple here. Get you a good view there. You can see that sits on there. So we'll get this one out of the way and this one out of the way. As you see, the radiator is nice and loose. Let's see if we can get a good shot of it. And it should be ready to come right out of there. So we're just going to pull it right out. Yeah, it just sets down in here. Let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, there's a rubber grommet that should go here that stayed on the radiator. You can see it right here. Let's see if we get a closer shot. You can see the rubber grommet there. We'll just have to take the other one off of the other radiator and put it back in this hole here. and that's where the bottom of the radiator sets in. Let's see if we can get a shot of that. There it is. And you can see on this side there isn't one there. Whoops. So what we're going to do is I'm going to transfer that over. I'm going to grab the new radiator and we'll be ready for installation.